Okay, hi everyone. I am back once again with a drawing. What else? What else would I be doing on this channel? Sometimes I do different stuff. Sometimes I do, but most of the time you can expect art from me. So if you're interested in it, I should subscribe if I were you. You know, I would do it, but I can't because I'm me. Anyway, I am drawing an original character, and this character I designed myself years ago. I don't know, I should have done some research beforehand because I do not know how long ago on top of my head, but I think like 6 years, 5, 6, maybe 7, because sometimes you're like, oh, I think this happened like 3 years ago, and then it turns out to be 10. I have that with movies a lot. Like, I think some movies are only like 20 years old, and I'm like, that's impossible. That's not, no. So maybe that's the case with this one. But yeah, let's go with 5. Let's go with 6. I'm gonna go with 6 on this one. That's my final answer. I'm gonna go with 6 on this one. He was the very first human character I fully designed myself. I would count him as the second human character I had, or maybe third. I'm gonna go with second, because the first one was like an adopt on those DeviantArt days, and this one wasn't. It was totally mine, and he looked pretty different. He just goes by the Captain, by the way, because I like to think that this guy doesn't really hold any emotion towards his name or something. So he's like, yeah, I'm just call me Captain, and that's okay. That's kind of what I was going for with this one. He does have an actual name, but story-wise, I do not want to reveal it. Not that it has any cool detail. I just think it's really in character for him to not share his name, if that makes sense. This guy came a long way. He used to look very different. I always like to give characters a main color, and you will see later on that this guy's main color is kind of like purple pink, which is, in my opinion, a very pretty color. And his second color is gold, I guess, because is it really a Looji design if it doesn't have gold? That's the real question. But his main color used to be brown with a purple accent, and he's definitely one of my favorite designs I have, simply because he's always been all my guilty pleasures in one design. Like, I really like his colors. You tons of gold, you tons of accessories, and he always grew with what I preferred in character designs. Because in the beginning, he was just a dude, and that's when I didn't really design characters that well yet, and I definitely didn't like drawing boys in general. But, you know, as time went on, I liked drawing men more, and then this guy really, yeah, I really enjoyed making his designs different all the time. Because it used to be more, I guess, Western, medieval outfits, and at one point I really wanted to make a turn to more, well, Arabian, I guess, Arabian style. Not fully, because I did put my own twist on it, of course, and he was actually the first one I tried it out with, and that's how it evolved into every single character of that same world having the same type of thing. So he's always been like an experimental character for me. The same goes with the style, by the way. Well, I wouldn't say different style. I talked about this before, how I don't think, like, just because I use a different brush or draw the eyes a bit different doesn't mean it's a different style. It's just, you know, I drew it, so that's my style. Oh god, I'm drawing all these little tassel things, I guess. get used to it because there's gonna be a lot more. But yeah, I'm using a different brush than normally, and I'm using different color technique as normally as well later on. But yeah, it's still my style, so I'm not gonna call it a different style. I only call things like this different styles in commission lists simply because that's easier to refer to when somebody wants a certain way of how I draw their commission. But yeah, this is just the Looji style, I guess. Well, I wouldn't even say it's Looji style because I don't like to claim like how I put lines on a paper or canvas in this case. So it's just a fun drawing I had fun with, but I tried something different than normally. I tried it before, and I sometimes will reference that picture in the videos as well. And I do like that one better. Eventually, this I think I do like how this picture is gonna turn out, but I do want to try a bit more with this, especially this line art brush. I really like this line art brush. It's the min size is cranked up all the way. I think I'm gonna leave the settings of this brush on screen, but the min size most likely is very high up, and that leaves for a very thick brush that doesn't really have much width, but I think that kind of looks that can look really cool in my opinion. So I definitely want to use this brush a bit more. I did some expression practice thingies, and that's when I used the brush as well. So the picture I am referencing, by the way, which again, I really like that picture. It's one of my favorite pictures I drew for the last couple of months, actually. Is actually the same character, but when he was younger, so he was like 14 or 13 at a pic. I don't know how old children are. And here he is, his present age, which is, oh god, I don't know much about my own characters. That's great. I think he's 30 or 41, something like that. In the very first draft, you know, remember that like brown coat basic bitch? There he was like 19, because at that point I was like 14. So I was 14? I couldn't be 14. Wait, I couldn't have been 14 because that means that's 10 years ago. Wait. Well, I mean, I was younger, so I was like, well, you know what's really old? 19-year-olds, and then maybe I was like 17. I'm gonna look it up. Oh god. I refuse to believe this is like 10 years old, so that can be a thing. Anyway, so he used to be much younger, but cranked up the age because, yeah, I also really like... yeah, I like to crank up the age sometimes. I like that. I actually, always when I watch movies or TV shows, I always end up liking the old guys the most. They're just fun. I don't know. I like, not in a like thirsty way, by the way, before anyone comes with that shit. No. It's like in like oh, that's a fun character. I like grandpas. They're always like cool characters. This guy isn't a grandpa. This guy is a normal grown-up. But there's always like this trend, I guess, in original characters. What I see a lot on the internet is they're either like teenagers, or they look like teenagers, but they're like 1,000 years old because they're some demon or something. And yeah, I just like, I have 30-year-olds characters because they're fun. And at one point, I'm gonna be a 30-year-old as well. I hope so. So then I'm gonna look back and I'm like, ah, remember when I thought I was old? I still do, because it's a scary number. So I'm doing the shading right now. And the shading is, like the previous video, by the way, I just do self-shading and then put an airbrush on it. Pretty nice, pretty cool. Put some shapes here and there. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just think it looks cool, so Don't check on me. Don't check if it's like correct or anything, because I can tell you it's not. It's absolutely not. Put some highlights here and there. The highlights is mostly done on the sides of the drawing itself, so not on the object, but to kind of mimic like some kind of sun coming from behind. But again, that's not accurate with the shading and stuff, but who cares? I'm doing the gold stuff. I don't think it's gold, it's more like a brown thingy, but I did want it to be like some shiny material, so I think, yeah, now I'm gonna do something different. Yeah, nice. Ooh, I love shiny things. Absolutely. Oh, those tassels again. Is that what they're called, tassels? I don't even know. Sometimes I think I should like script these a bit better, but I do think when I just do them on top of my head, it feels more natural, because I can sound really fake when I when I have to read stuff. So I hope my rambling is somewhat of an enjoyment, because I am trying to do more voiceovers in my video. A lot of people ask me to like tell more about my characters. I know I said this before that I kind of about it, because I think info about characters is much better told through a story rather than me like telling it, if that makes sense. But to give you kind of something about this character, he's basically, he grew up with his mom, only his mom, he doesn't know his dad, and his mom went to jail when he was 14, and since then he lived alone, he lived on the streets, and at one point he started working on a boat, and that slowly turned into him owning his own boat, but he is technically a pirate, but it's not like the stereotype pirate, I guess. He doesn't like go out to the sea and fight or with swords. He just steals stuff and then sells it on his boat. And so he really is charismatic, so he can really lower the price on things, and sometimes he just straight up steals them. He really likes the company of women, but especially if they're rich, so, you know, doing his thing and then steals a ring or two and then sells it on his boat. He has a crew as well, living with him. He's very family orientated, so he really considers them like, this is my family, yes, but he's also kind of an asshole. I like that, okay? It's great. There is bros. Well, they're all men except for one. He has like this assistant who is a woman, and I really wanted to design him to be like a duo, because I really like duo designs, and he's more of like a triangle shape, where she is more of a, well, a rectangle, I guess. So it kind of shows that he's like the more outstanding one, where she is just a triangle in the back. Not a triangle, she's a rectangle. All those tangle stuff with English language, dude, it's hard. I'm very sorry. Please forgive me. Now I'm doing some white line art, white highlights. Yeah, his story is not that interesting. It's not that much, but I do enjoy working with this dude. So, and this is done. He's done. Cool. I hope you enjoyed it. Because I enjoy drawing it. It's been some time that I enjoy drawing something for myself, so I'm happy. And the Patreon's on screen as well. I want to thank all the Patrons. You guys are super cool, and it's really nice to have you guys' support. I really appreciate it, more than you think. And for all my other social media and for my Patreon and blah, 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 it's all in the description, even like the brushes. This brush isn't, so you have to pause the screen from when I told you to brush, but other than that, please look in the description first before asking stuff. It really is. It's nice. It's nice. Also suggest what I should do next, and don't forget to subscribe if you didn't. Woo!